Well, hello everyone and welcome to Painless Universal, a conversation with myself and Welsh. Today we'll be talking about overcoming pain to follow your passion. Not very easy, not easier said than done. A lot of people want to follow their passion, but there's so much obstacle and pain involved. My guest today, Dr. Nina Bal, will just be telling us how she overcame her pain of being a foreigner, being someone who didn't really have the language, didn't have the right degree at the start because her degree had to be converted to an English degree, being someone who didn't really know anyone, but still found her passion to continue what she truly loved, the dentist. And not only did she follow her passion, she has gone on to win multiple awards. Let me tell you a little bit about some of the awards she's won. One, she's a member of the General Dental Council. She's also a member of Save Face, the National Register of the Accredited Practitioner, which provide non-surgical cosmetic treatments. She is a member of the IAFFA, the International Academy of Advanced Facial Anesthetic. She's a member of so many other different things, which I can't even go on to name, which you will see in my thing. You might also recognize her from TV as Dr. Nina. She's the official cosmetic dentist in the series 2 of the UK TV show Body Fixers on E4. And from this morning show with Holly and Phil on ITV. Dr. Nina has also been featured on many times in Forbes, Evening Standard, Harvard, Metro, Tally, Daytime, Sunday, to name a few. In terms of award, I just mentioned here, I see one more there here. Dr. Nina is the winner of the Private Healthcare Awards 2021 as the Best Anesthetic Facial Sculpting Specialist and 2020 Global Excellence Award for the Most Outstanding Facial Sculpture Treatment. This lady came from humble beginnings to winning all this prestigious award. But what is really inspiring in that conversation today is that she'll be talking about her article that she just released in Daily Mail that talked about why she went for surgery at the tender age of 36 to fix a problem she had. What was her choice, reasoning behind this? And why she feels if something is for you, if you really need to do it, you should go ahead and do it. Rather than thinking, what are the consequences of your action? You should do it for you if you feel it's right. I'm so excited to talk to Dr. Nina and share her story about her own journey and how you can find your purpose in life, no matter what challenges you go through. Meet my guest, Dr. Nina Bal. Well, hello everyone and welcome again to Painless Universal Conversation with myself and Welsh. Today's conversation, as I said in my intro, is truly inspiring because it's one of overcoming whatever challenge you have. But really, this lady has an amazing professional career and she'll be telling us about her own challenges. She's award-winning, she's in TV, she's done it all, and she'll tell us how she had, got her way to get to where she is today. And guess what? She's still so young as well, which is truly amazing. Well, Nina, thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure, such an honor being with you. So yeah, I'm really good. Thank you so much. Really, really good.
I read
All
your
good.
bio and I was truly
Yeah.
amazed because people think when I read through your bio, oh gosh, she must be so old. She can't be that young to get don't give us achieve so much. And you've achieved so much in such a short space of time. You've been on TV and I'm sure it wasn't easy. But anyway, before we get into all of that, can you tell us in simple words, who are you?
Yes. So my name is Nina. I am an aesthetic physician. I actually come from Italy. I've been living in London. I moved from about 10 years ago. So I studied in Italy. My background actually is in dentistry. And then I just literally follow my passion. I always was interested about medicine and dentistry and healthcare. But at the same time, I also had a huge passion about aesthetics. And so really, since I moved to London about 10 years ago, I just decided to just follow what I love the most about my profession. So I came here without really not knowing anyone, and I just moved for love because I met my husband in a cafe randomly a few years before. So I moved for love. I left my dental clinic in Italy. I left the house. I had literally left everything to come here and really started knocking to people doors to beg for a job. And then I started doing dentistry first, and then from there I started to develop my skills more into the cosmetic dentistry, so more the aesthetic side of the smile, which was what was fascinating me the most. And then from then I actually realized I discovered actually the huge word of the non-surgical facial aesthetics about the face, where dentists like myself seems to be the best at doing it. And then so I just follow that, and now I'm really really lucky and grateful that I spend my time working in a clinic in Belgravia doing fully non-surgical facial aesthetics. So it's what I love the most.
It's lovely because at least you're doing something you truly love, because I think you were so fascinated about the human face and how to make it better. But one of key quotes you always say is not too much, but just little, but that makes a huge difference. And I like that. Growing up, you said you grew up in Italy. Your father was a ski instructor. So how did that influence your life in that being competitive? Because you went on to do a bit of skiing before you went on to that degree of to study dentistry. So how did you do the transition, especially if your father was a skiing instructor? Did you not think you wanted to go on that path?
Yes, absolutely. So I literally grew up in the mountain of the Italian Alps, which is beautiful. It's like I always say for people, I think I was Heidi, literally in the tiny village, beautiful in the middle of the Alps, which I always felt it was a little bit too small for me. I always felt I was destined to something a bit bigger. So although I loved it, and obviously my dad tried to make me successful in skiing, but unfortunately I wasn't as skilled as he is. So I wasn't very gifted in that sense. So although I was skiing professionally, I just wasn't very good. So I just decided, and but equally my parents are very normal people. They're both school teachers, and they both uh, me and my two brothers, they always said to us that we had to get a degree, we had to get a profession. So they were really really firm and very strict about my studying. So I was really brought up with a very very strict upbringing about education, and then but equally I was pushed into sports. So I always learned like the discipline, the competition, the fact that I always, since I remember, I was challenged, and you have to compete, and you have to learn to lose it, to learn to get yourself better. So when I went to university, I think my sports background gave me that kind of mindset, strong mindset of discipline, connecting I think to my strict upbringing, where I was just laser focused on what I wanted to get. And that's why I also got into dentistry, which is very very difficult to get. I'm sure the same in England, but in Italy it's like 20 places for like 1,000 of applications a year. So I was laser focused, and I was really, that's what I wanted to do since I was 4, and that's what I did. So I think it helped me a lot.
What was the love for, because, you choose a profession because probably you have some love to it. I chose accounting and finance, probably that was my dad doing. But I always knew I had more passion towards the pain side, to understand the mind and how pain affects people. What was your passion to lead that led you on to the dentistry part? And what are some of the challenges you faced throughout pursuing that career?
Yeah, so my uncle in Italy is a dentist. So since I was a little girl, I used to go to obviously to see him in the clinic, and I remember I was totally fascinated by everything, by this chairs, by the white lab coat, by the precision, by the fact they could help people. So I think I just loved everything. I just loved medicine. I just loved the fact that I wanted to help people. I wanted to work. I'm a Libra, so I'm very perfectionist. I love to work in a very small environment and do something really precise. And I was fascinated by wearing lab coats. So I think since I was a little girl, I remember obviously going with my parents maybe to the accountant or to the lawyer, but I never felt that kind of like urge or that passion inside me. But I did feel that in a dental clinic, weirdly enough. So I just knew it.
Oh wow, that's really good. Because I wish so many people were like you and they just knew what they, because you know what you want, it's easier to go for it. They always say for a goal and you know what you want, then it's just easier. In fact, there's a saying my doctor always said to me, because I have chronic illness. My doctor says, 90% is the diagnostic base. Once we know what's wrong with you, then we could then
Yes.
the rest is the 10% or even 1% is the curing thing. But if we don't know what you want, then that's a big issue for us because you have to do all these tests. So I think that sticks with my mind with also people who are trying to get their goal, who want to do something. If you know what you want, and
Yeah.
with you, that's probably shown you massive award, your career outlet of life. You've achieved so much in
Thank
such a
you.
short space of time. And this leads on to some of the behaviors of to be a dentist. There's some skill set, I think, to be successful at it. Just that you get your patient, you retain patient. There's skill set that people need to learn that makes them
Mm,
their patient feel comfortable to want to come back. Because dentistry, one people forget that it's not just you're not just going there just because you want to there's a pain in your nagging pain and you want to get it fixed. You also go there because you also the cosmetic part of it. For
yeah.
you, what are some of the skill sets you realize to keep and retain your clients so they keep coming back?
This is such an interesting question, and it's so key because I see in my industry there are excellent clinicians who are excellent in the technicality of what they do, but they miss the personal skills and they can't retain clients. And I appreciate them from a technical point of view, and I wish the patients could see it, but they don't. So you're absolutely right. I think in I've obviously, in my profession, perhaps also in other ones, but obviously all I know is mine, is that you need to wear so many hats and be good at so many different things. For me, the main thing is to be, you have to be very, mm, how can I say, kind, gentle, almost create like a space of judgment-free zone where your patients come.
Mm.
And for me it's key, like it's making my patients feeling so comfortable, and like creating that rapport first, that once that it's solid and it's there, then really they will be your clients forever and they will really trust you. So it's creating the initial rapport, trust, not judgment. Even just make, I don't know, maybe just making a joke or asking them about that, about themselves, about the family, about something. It doesn't have to be long conversation, but something that where you generally really also care. And I think perhaps one of the things that I'm good at is that people really feel that I care. And I think it's perhaps one of the things I say to people. They say, oh, how can I be successful like yourself? I'm like, well, do you actually love aesthetics, and do you actually care about your patients? Because that's the foundation of everything. Because if that lacks, you're going to it with the wrong reasons, and people will feel that.
Wow, that's really true. Because one of my reasons for going back is how I felt on the chair on the dentistry when I'm there.
uh,
Yeah, I always go back. Yeah, the quality of care is always because you can get the quality of care almost everywhere.
yeah.
People are good. But what always brings me back is how much I can relate to my dentist, how much we could also have a conversation because it's not just
Yes.
I'm there to forget that I'm being numbed, I'm having this injection and all this thing. What are some of the things you're really proud of? I mean, have there been one case that I mean, you don't have to name names, that you've seen and you're like, wow, I can't believe this dramatic change, and what impact does that have on you?
Um, I think it is like two situations that I can remember. So one was when I was still doing cosmetic dentistry, and I treated this guy, and he actually lost his central incisor, which is this tooth here, because when he was very young, when he was like 15, because his sister, obviously as an accident, he lost it with the baseball hat, because his sister obviously accidentally, yeah, hit him. So he learned to live without his central tooth for about 10 years. So he basically taught himself not to smile for 15 years, for 10 years. And then so I restored that tooth, and that it was so emotional because it was way beyond just restoring one tooth. It was obviously was giving him back the confidence of and his smile really, and we had to train him up to smile again. So that was very, very emotional. And then about aesthetics, actually, there's one lady who has been my clients for years, and uh, she has been my clients throughout her diagnosis of cancer and her treatment, her chemo therapy, and then her recovery, and doing really subtle treatments on her face while she lost her hair and eyebrows, and and helping her to go through that horrendous process and giving her like small bits of confidence back, um, has been a huge joy for me, equally as I think as it's been for her.
Wow, that's so good. Um, in today's world, right, there's tremendous pressure on the way we look and feel. It's
Mm.
everything you look. I think it stems from social media, it stems from magazine, it stems from everything. Everything you look and do is about how you look and feel. And sometimes look and feel is more about the outward that they're looking at you rather than the inward looking at you. How do you have a conversation with a potential client about the risks and benefits when considering doing undergoing these techniques like what the techniques you clearly talked about? How do you have a
Yeah.
conversation to make them feel to understand that these are benefits, but also at the same time, there are also risks involved in it.
Yeah, great question. So what I do, I screen the patient. So I have specific questionnaire, which I call them anxiety, depression, and body dysmorphia questionnaire. So I really screen before they even come into the clinic room, um, their kind of mental state really. So, and I can kind of know already before even they come in and I speak to them, what are the reasons why they are there. And if I suspect there's either body dysmorphia, or they do it for the wrong reason, or either they have the unrealistic expectations, or they think that treatment done to the face can replace for something much deeper, then I have a really honest conversation with them saying, I'm really sorry. I don't think this will meet your expectations. I don't think this is a suitable treatment for you. And actually, the more I get experience, the more I learned to say difficult no's to these people. And because I learned the hard way, at the beginning, I was easily influenced and did treatment. And then I always, whenever I didn't listen to my gut feeling, was always right, then I pay the consequences later on. So I always kind of screen, and I get better as I get more experience, the people very, very quickly. And again, understanding and also explain to them that although they seem quite quick procedures, they can actually have huge risks, like derma fillers, for example. People getting more aware, but not everyone knows that doing something like a bit of fillers in the nose just to hide a hump can actually cause blindness and necrosis. So you can actually lose your nose or get blind by small injection of filler in the nose.
Wow, I did.
I know.
Oh my,
Yeah, you see?
I know that. I think that is good to share that because a lot of people don't know some of the risks. They just know, okay, at the end of it, I'm going to look good. But what
Exactly.
people or very few people want to know, want to take in is that risk of having it. But let's go on to yourself. You're very successful. You've been on TV and you've won numerous awards. So someone who's looking to your path, how did you start that career? Because when you think of dentistry, you don't think of them winning awards or you don't think of
Yeah.
them being on TV. You know, you've been on a lot of big program here in the UK. How did that get started?
It's funny because it's actually all happened randomly. So I was chosen. As I mentioned, I moved from Italy to London without having any connections whatsoever here, without having any British degree. I have got an Italian degree, and so I literally started from the very, very bottom. I slowly just like follow what I loved, and my first access to TV actually was through Instagram. So Channel 4 found me for body fixes on Instagram. So they called me, and that's the power of social media. So without having zero connection and without knowing anyone, that's how they found me. And I went to the casting, and again, with no expectation, just being myself with a bit of an Italian accent, they chose me. And then to from that to again just being me and just keep building my presence on social media, um again without expecting anything. I think that's the key, that sometimes people want to be seen and expect something, so they put something out there, some content, hoping for being picked or be chosen, but actually unfortunately works the other way. It's when you don't expect anything, and when you just follow your heart and your passion and you put out there and you're authentic and genuine, then things happen. And that same happened for this morning show, and the awards. I just thought, I don't know, I just follow again what I loved, and just always try to improve myself. So I never really worried about what other people were doing. Because I think if I did, I would have just got stuck and just be probably, didn't achieve anything. Because it's when you start to compare yourself, there's always going to be someone better, more skilled or better looking or whatever that might be. Whether if you just focus on yourself and try to improve yourself, I think that's when really the magic happens.
The competition is ourselves. It's us and
Yes.
ourselves. No, people always say it's me against the world. No, no, look in the mirror. It's you against you. It's no one else. Because people think, and also we sometimes think, oh, people care about what we're doing or this. But if you focus on yourself, and you really do grow. You really do grow in
Yeah.
what you're good at, what you're really aiming for. And I think this is something you've shown for someone who came from Italy with the Italian education, and you brought it over to UK, translator. You came from the bottom, but although you still knew what you were doing because you studied in Italy, but
Yeah.
you decided to build yourself, and look where you are today. So I think I must really
Thank you.
applaud you for that. That congratulations, for achieving that. You were very
Thank you.
open about your surgery and being 36. You said, "I'm
Yeah.
open. I did this because I felt I want to do it." You didn't say, okay, what would be the consequences of me opening up and saying to people, okay, this is a path I wanted to go through. Were you nervous when you said that? And why did you think you needed it at such a young age?
So, first of all, I really have to say I felt no pressure from anyone to do any treatment. So everything I do to myself, to my face, to my body is just for me. And I think that's the key. And I thought, well, actually, I really do not care about what people think. It's just something that has been bothering me for so long. Like we all have one area of face or body that bothers us,
Yes.
exactly. And for me, it was my eyes, because I look like my dad, who is a very attractive man, but unfortunately I don't think he can even see, like his eyelids were so low, and I look exactly like him. So since I was like 14, 15, I knew where I was going, and I knew I would have wanted to have eyelid surgery quite early on. And I thought, why waiting until I'm 70 or 80, where actually I can't even see because there's too much skin hanging? And actually I want to enjoy my prime time, my 30s, looking my very best, and be able to put mascara or to put like a nice eyeline exactly the way I want it. So I thought I want to do it on my terms, because of me. There's no pressure from anyone. In fact, everybody, my family, my husband said to me, I don't need it. I was like, I'm doing this for me. And as the best thing I ever done, and actually I thought, let me help some other women, because I'm sure there are other women out there that want to do this in exactly my position, who are either scared or fear the judgment from other people. And so I thought, I think sometimes when you share your weak side, when you get yourself vulnerable, then so many people relate to it and actually are grateful. And that will happen, despite on Daily Mail when I shared that story. Actually, my husband said to me, did you see how many nasty comments you had? And I'm like, no. And actually I'm not even interested in reading them, because I don't really mind what people think. It's just I know I'm really happy and I've done it for me. And actually, I had the most lovely messages on Instagram from other women saying, "Thanks for sharing. I've been thinking for this for so long. Thanks for giving me the courage to actually do something for me to make me feel better." So
I agree, Nina. I think if you listen to this negative comments on social media, you will actually stop your own life going because none of
yeah,
these people know you. None of these people have been around
yeah,
you. So, and you did inspire a lot of people because I know a lot of young people who are going through some, minor surgical things that they need to get fixed, but also so nervous. What would the world think about them? How to
yes,
receive it? And I sometimes I send this article and say, look, if you feel this is really bothering you and if this surgery will help you get better, look at Nina. She's done it. She came out to talk about it. If you feel this will help you, go ahead and do it and just do it for you. Do what you feel would be best for you rather than do what you feel would be best for the rest of the world. Because at the end of the day, it's you against you, not you against the rest of the world. So I'm so
I
glad
agree.
you did that. Another thing, the concern the world has today, there's so much improvement in science. There's so much, things that
Yeah.
technology is happening really, really fast. Are you concerned about the fast rates that science is improving and that what that impact will have on the cosmetic procedures you guys are doing and the risk and benefit to others?
Yeah, I think, especially thinking now in aesthetics, everything is just evolving so fast, and it sometimes is even hard for us to just, stay at the pace and getting updated. So I think it's a good thing because what's happening is that we are really pushing surgery, further and further, and some people actually, perhaps my generation or the generation after, they perhaps never need a facelift because there's so many minor small tweaks you can do to actually prevent that actually they may not even ever need it. So that's really good. I think equally what I think we need to do, and that's what I'm trying to do with my social media platforms, is empowering the public with knowledge. Say, look, despite this is great, and yes it works, and yes it can prevent or works in this way or in the other way, but it comes with risks. And I think because sometimes on social media those procedures can look easy, but then some people think, oh, I'm just going to go and have, I don't know, fillers in my lunch break, but actually there are very serious consequences. So we're really fighting to, first of all, trying to uh, you know, make these procedures available just for medical professionals, because at the moment is not very regulated, and um, and just actually give a knowledge to people, say, look, yes, it can look easy. Yes, you could potentially have a non-surgical rhinoplasty done in 10 minutes and eliminate the dorsal hump. However, you can risk to get blind, you can risk to have necrosis, you can risk to lose your nose if you're not in the good hands. Or even in good hands, complications arise. So, and I think there, because everything is getting more popular, there also are more complications. And so I think people are getting more and more aware of those.
And Dr. Nina, before I let you go, there's so many young girls that will be listening to this interview and wondering how can they get to your shows and how can they, find their own path in this world that seems so difficult, especially after the pandemic. People are very
Mm.
confused. What do they continue doing what they're doing? They're doing this dentistry, they're doing what you're doing, and they don't know how to be successful. Is there I always say to people there isn't a immediate success. Nothing happens overnight. A lot of people, I think, they see social media and they think things happen overnight. Can you just say in simple words what your journey has been and why it's important for young girls to believe that hard work pays off?
I love this question. Yes, I mean, I think first of all, as you said so rightly, is that it's a recipe of success. There is not one thing. Um, what I would say to a young girl is just get yourself a profession. Just find what you love. If you're not sure, just go and perhaps shadow different professions and see where you feel that like energy within you when you are there, which could be, I don't know, whatever that may be. I would say don't go, because now I think perhaps people now, younger generation, they are looking for that the quick money. And also because with social media, there are so many like influencers or these new jobs that even when I was like in my 20s, they didn't exist. They think you can get rich very quickly and get very famous, but actually, um, this is not what happens in the real world. And even if some people, happen to some people, but actually, I think even now, all these influencers era, it's kind of finishing really. So get yourself a very solid profession, do what you love, follow your instinct, follow your passion, find your passion and just follow it with all yourself. And I think it all depends, all goes back to your passion. So once you find something you actually love, everything just flows naturally, flow easily, and you want to get back to, you want to know more, and people will feel that. And then put yourself out there and don't quit, don't give up. Like the reason I think why I've been successful is because I had so many challenges. I was a foreigner with an accent, with no contacts. I wasn't taken seriously. I was really young. I just didn't let anything stop me, and I just carried on. And so many people, perhaps they stopped, or even like I have two small children, and I thought, no, nothing's going to stop me, and I just carried on. I think sometimes who wins is actually who doesn't quit.
That's true. Thank you so much, Dr. Nina, for your kind conversation. I mean, this means so much to me that you took the time out of your busy schedule to share your insight. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me again.
Thank you.